know that all turtles have 13 crackies in the shell. 13, and it represents, for the Native Americans, it represented the moons in the year. We have 13 moons, don't we? August was called what? What do they call August? Blue moon, yes, 13 moons. That was their 13 months in the year. And then here, you count all the days, 28. So 13 times 28, you get 364. And then ever so often they added 5 days that they had kind of a festival, and that brought everybody up to speed again. Now, the Chippewas, I'll put that like that. The Chippewas, they had a story about turtle. Can I tell you the Chippewa story about turtle? Well, there was an old mama turtle, and she knows she was going to pack. So she knew she had 1 egg left, only one. And so what she did is she went and she laid that egg in a goose nest. And that little turtle hatched out, and he thought he was a goose. He'd paddle along like this, and when all the goosies would paddle, and he'd dip down and get some food when all the goosies were getting food. But you know one thing that he couldn't do, he tried, he couldn't make that goosey sound. You know, you ever see goosies flying across the sky like this? And they're making that goosey sound, they're going, oh no, 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 oh no, no. You ever hear that goosey sound that they make when you're going across the sky? You know, oh, oh, oh. Yes, and he tried, he'd try real hard and he couldn't make that goosey sound because he was a turtle. Yes. Well, about this time, in September or so, he couldn't do another thing all the goosies learned to do. What did the goosies learn to do that he couldn't? Learn to fly, yeah. All of them learned to fly, and he couldn't fly. Why? He couldn't fly. Why? He was a turtle. So what he had to do is he went down in the bottom of the pond, and he went digging in the mud, and he went to sleep. And it got real cold, and all the water in the pond froze right over, and all the 4-footers could walk across the pond. And all the 2-footers, they walked across the pond too. I heard, now I've never seen it happen, but I heard that some 2-footers, they'll go in the middle of winter, they'll take an axe and they'll chop a hole in the pond and go fishing. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going fishing and sleep and just freezing your little tushy off? Well, spring comes, all his goosey friends, they come back. And all his goosey friends, and he's so happy, he paddles along and dips down, and they're happy to see him. They, oh, you know, all that goosey sound, you know. Well, the fall comes, and what's going to happen? All the goosies going to fly away, aren't they? Yeah, so he started getting sad. He said, oh, and a goosey said, what we'll do is we will take you with us. Here, what you do is you grab onto this stick like this, and goosey went like this on this side of the stick and more on this side of the stick, and they started going faster and faster, faster and faster and faster, until he lifted right off the pond, and he said, on fire! And he flew on down past, he was flying in Lake Michigan. He's flying on down past that little white man village. You ever hear that white man village? And all the Indians used to call it Stinky Place. Stinky Place! Because it had all kinds of onions and garlic growing there. They called it Stinky Place. You know what the Indian word for stinky place was? Chicago. Chicago. Yeah, and so he went on down through Indiana and into Tennessee. And by the time he got to Tennessee, he was going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? See, he couldn't let go. They said, no, we're not there yet. So, he got into Alabama, and all of a sudden, all the goosies were saying, look, right down there is where we're going to stay for the winter. And he went, yay! What happened? He fell off the stick, didn't he? And he went, boom! And he cracked his shell on a rock. And he cracked it into 13 crackies. And ever since then, all turtles have had 13